Today we are going to dive into my favorite stream controller of the last 5 years, TouchPortal. TouchPortal has the same ability to create buttons, to toggle actions inside of programs, launch programs, open web pages, you get it, as another popular name brand device that, if you're totally honest with yourself, is inferior to this application at 10 times the cost. If Elgato offered me a sponsorship and all of their products for free, and TouchPortal offered me a sponsorship for $15, I would take the one from TouchPortal. I've had a Stream Deck for a little over a year now, and you know what I do with it? Nothing. I put buttons on it so that I can launch programs without clicking on my desktop. Meanwhile, I use my tablet with TouchPortal on it every single time I stream, to control my stream and to monitor it. Before StreamerBot, it actually ran my entire stream because it also has the ability to program background events, which Stream Decks cannot do. This video isn't a tutorial showing you how to set up cool actions, program buttons that will change your life. Though if you buy the full version of TouchPortal and want help setting anything up or some cool ideas, feel free to let me know. Or jump into their Discord, where the people that build and update this extremely amazing asset to streaming are very active and incredibly helpful. No sitting around waiting for hours or days for a response. Okay, let's get into what makes TouchPortal the clear winner for physical stream controller. It has all of the same multi-action macro button functionality as that other brand, but what sets this apart is that you decide how many buttons are on each page, and there's no limit to how many pages you can have. You can make buttons into sliders, so if you want to control audio levels or brightness levels or filters, you know, anything else that a slider would be more suited for than a button press, you can do that. You can easily create button designs and backgrounds for each page. So for every page you can have a background image, and for every button you can choose icons, colors, fonts, whatever. And yeah, sure, you can customize your buttons on a Stream Deck too. Hooray. It's not as cool as this, take my word for it. I wouldn't lie to you. This is way cooler. It's the coolest. There is an entire tab where you can create values that you can store and use in future buttons you might end up creating without having to manually set up that value each time. There is a flows tab where you can create and store entire multi-action flows that you might repeatedly end up using in buttons, so that you don't have to set up the workflow every single time you create a button. And again, maybe you can do that on a Stream Deck. Maybe. I don't know, you could just duplicate a button, I guess, and then change things. Nah. $150, 14. Okay? Okay? We're still in the basics here. Hold on. Let me get to it. An events tab. And this is where it really sets itself apart from a Stream Deck. In the events tab, you can set up multi-action macros that will trigger without having to press a button. So if StreamerBot is too much for you, or you don't like the UI, you can set all of the same stuff up that we do in StreamerBot in TouchPortal in the Events tab. So you set up scenarios where, I don't know, it plays an alert, a sound, sends a message to your chat, all of that stuff, and you want it to trigger when somebody follows. You just program that in the Events tab, and then every time somebody follows, that action will trigger. Or subscribes, or writes a message to your chat, or looks at you funny, and then you have to murder them. Just kidding. TouchPortal will not kill people for you. Don't do that, that's bad. This is what I did for the longest time. Before TouchPortal fell by the wayside for me because I got really involved in StreamerBot, it ran my entire stream. I had all of the same stuff that I currently have in StreamerBot programmed inside of TouchPortal, and I loved it. so much. I still love it. But, you know, I'm evolving, so I'm sorry, Touch Portal. I still use you. I love you. All right, continuing on. Plugins. Plugins on top of plugins. And you know what? Touch Portal has all of the plugins before Elgato gets them. There are things that Stream Decks are just getting around to integrating that Touch Portal has been doing for years. So if you want to stay ahead of the curve, this is what you want. Now let's get into my favorite things that renew my love for this every single time I open it. Button customization. Simple, sure, but you can not only decide what you want your button to look like, and whether it has a transparent background so you can see your entire page image. Remember what I said? You can have background images or styles and designs for each page of buttons. Well, you can make your buttons transparent so that you can see that. And the button would just be text and a border, or just text, or just an icon, whatever you want. But what really sets it apart in terms of button customization is that you can decide how big you want a button. So if you wanted to have, let's just say, a grid of 8 by 8. So if you have 64 buttons, on a page, and let's say you want one of them bigger because it's going to display text, right? Say you want a button in the corner that will update with how many viewers you currently have, how many subscribers you currently have, stuff like that. And you don't want this tiny little button. You want something, you know, girthier. Easier to read. Then you can make the button bigger. You can choose to have that one button take up, say, 4 cells. So you would have one button that is 2 by 2 and easier to read. Or if you wanted a button that, I don't know, takes up your whole page and just says big red kill switch. I don't know. You can do that. I don't know why you would, but you could. Button function customization. For each button, you have the option to set up your main multi-action flow that will trigger when you press it, and a separate flow for when you hold it. But you also have the ability to add flows for events. So much like that events tab that I was talking about, you could do the same thing in these buttons. But what you can also do is set it to change the look of a button. So when you start streaming or recording, you can have it change the way the button looks. So instead of saying start stream with a little recording icon there, you could have it flash red and say streaming instead of start streaming. Or if you have a button to push to start recording, it would say start recording or record, and then when you press it, it could light up red and it would say recording. Or another way that you could use this is you could set up a button that whenever somebody chats or follows or subscribes to your channel, the button could change color, letting you know that somebody did whatever thing, and then you could press the button and it would trigger an action. So if somebody followed you and you wanted to send a message to your chat thanking that person for following, that button would light up whatever color, and then you could push the button and it would send a message saying thank you blah 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 for following or subscribing or whatever. It's pretty cool, right? I think so. Can you do that with a Stream Deck? I actually don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Stream Deck. I just don't get it. Ooh, physical box. Hundreds of dollars. I push button. Yay. I am a hater, all right? Everybody knows it, whatever. I love Touch Portal. It's my thing. So there. Anyway, moving along. As I said before, you can make any button a slider. So on any given page, you can have your buttons that you could press to start streaming, press to start recording, press to mute your microphone, all of that stuff. But with the customization options to change the size of a button, you also have the option to change any button into a slider. So if you have, your mic mute button, next to that you can also have your mic gain slider, and you'd be able to change the volume of yourself. So if you're too quiet in stream or too loud, you'd be able to slide that slider and it would adjust in real time inside of OBS. Or if you want to change the volume of other audio inputs, say your mix isn't that great, your game volume is louder than your music, which is also louder than your voice, you can adjust all of that stuff using sliders inside of Touch Portal. So you don't have to grab your mouse and go over and click on OBS and do all of this stuff. You can just slide your finger on your little tablet there or on your cell phone, depending on what you use, and you'd be fine. And again, I have to say, you can get tablets for pretty cheap. As a matter of fact, just since I'm sitting here, right? This one right here with a paper towel in it for whatever reason. This tablet right here, this is a brand new Android tablet. This cost me $40. It came with a keyboard that's Bluetooth that is great. I've actually been really impressed with this. It's got a stylus. It's nice. $40. That plus another $14 and you have yourself something, in my opinion, that is way cooler than a Stream Deck. By a lot. It's not even close, in my opinion. And I'll tell you why it's not close. Because the newest and my absolute favorite and most requested way to use a button in this is now available. You can set up a button as a web view, which means you can have a full web page baked right into your stream controller that you can actually interact with. I use this to monitor my stream and chat while I'm live, so if anyone says I'm buffering a lot or the audio is having issues or whatever, right there in front of me at all times, I have my stream pulled up. And you can also set up buttons that change what page is displayed in that little web view. So if you don't want to have multiple of them, you can set up buttons that will change what web page you're looking at. So in my case, when I'm multi-streaming to YouTube and Twitch at the same time, I have buttons that switch between the two pages. So if I want to make sure everything looks good on YouTube, I can press one button and that page will start displaying my YouTube. Or if I want to go back and make sure that Twitch looks good and sounds great, I push the button and it goes back to showing me my Twitch stream. That's pretty great. And you can also click on the chats in either and actually interact with the chat. You could type right from this tablet in your little web view and interact with your chat. It's like the coolest freaking thing. And you know what? I don't have to ask this time. I can tell you right now, a Stream Deck can't do that. It can't. You can't put a web page inside of a button on a Stream Deck. And you know why? Because you can't resize the buttons on a Stream Deck. You can't make 20 buttons show a web page. Take that, Elgato, you chumps. Come at me, bro. But if you do, please bring, some face cams and some pedals and shit, because as much as I wouldn't use them, I'll give them away. So, yeah, just bring those when you come at me. I like doing giveaways. That'd be cool. Anyway, I don't want to make this video crazy long and keep dogging on Elgato. This video is just me gushing over my appreciation for this application and not really teaching you anything. If you use Touch Portal, throw a heart in the comments. Or if you are now considering it and would like some video tutorials on how to set things up in there, please leave me a comment about that down below and I'll definitely do it. Or come by a live stream and ask me there. I can walk you through setting things up live. Or, you know, keep hyping this shit up because I really do love Touch Portal. It's amazing. I'm telling you, if you give it a chance, you'll love it. I promise. Especially if you have a tablet. It's pretty great on a phone, but when you can set up the things I have, you know, with the web page viewer and stuff, you could do it on a phone, but it'd be different and then blah, 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 blah. Okay. I'm gonna start doing that gushy thing again. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you want to learn some fun things you can do with OBS, StreamerBot, and possibly Touch Portal, please consider subscribing to the channel. I thank you all for watching and hope to see you in the next video. And as always, take care and stay safe. And buy Touch Portal. Tell them Jeefbird sent you.